Hi guys, it's me, just Lucian again, and for the topic of this video, I'm going to get a little bit metaphysical with you guys. In particular, I will be talking about the fate of Donald J. Trump, 45th and 47th President of the United States. And yes, I did puke in my mouth a little when I said that, because, he's no honorable president whatsoever. In fact, he's making a mockery of the office. But, there's been a lot of talk about him not being well, him having strokes, him having dementia. And I made a few jokes here and there about that, about him. And, the fact that he keeps making a mockery of being a statesman, and the fact that they give the finger to that oil plant worker for calling him a pedophile protector, which is actually really funny now you think of it, because he is a protector of those awful people. And I found it really hilarious that the guy is calling him out for that. It's okay to call him a sexist, a racist, a transphobic, Islamophobic, all the other nasty stuff that you can pitch to Donald Trump, and it's okay with that. But as long as you don't call him a PP, that draws the line. But anyway, I will say that this is not going to be like a statement that congratulates him on his bad behavior, because I don't condone it whatsoever. I think he's an abhorrent, greedy, narcissistic man. But yeah, people always say he says to himself that he's not going to heaven. Okay, which most people would agree with. You gotta be a good person to get into heaven. And he's far from it. Yeah, very, very far from it. He's about far from a good person as you're ever gonna get. And the same you could say for the ICE officers and all of his cabinet members too, that you could say are very awful people. But I would say that he's not going to heaven, not going to purgatory, or and it's only option left, right? He's option hell. And yes, I'm gonna say it right now. I don't think that Donald Trump is destined for this place of fire and brimstone, and a place where all your sins are used up against you. Like, for example, if you're a very lustful person, you'll be put in the circle of lust in Dante Harry in this version of hell, in which you're constantly blown apart by the endless dreams of relationships and whatnot. And you don't have any real groundness and nothing and all that. I'll get into it when I get into the first circle of hell, the first proper circle of hell, besides limbo. But anyway, yeah, I don't believe that Trump will go there, especially lust. But I don't think they'll go into Dante's hell, or the hell of the Bible, or any of the other religions, for example. I think that when Trump shuffles the moral coil, if you will, when he passes on, when he dies, I think he'll go into HFIL. That's HFIL. Now, you might be wondering, what is that? never heard that. That's nowhere to be found in any cosmological or religious type of text on heaven and hell, what happens when you're good, bad, or evil. Well, it turns out that HFIL is basically the Dragon Ball version of hell, the underworld, the afterlife, where bad people go to be tortured by gods and myths, the two ogres of hell. And the reason why I think that he would go to this place is beyond all the Lucifer and wrath and anger and all that of hell. This considers like the personal hell of Donald Trump, for example, because HFIL stands for Home for Infinite Losers, and that's what Trump hates the most, to be considered a loser. He hated it as like a psychological thing that his father always instilled in him, that there were, in this world, there were either killers or losers. And I get a little bit of both, but that's the point. Trump never wanted to be a loser in his father's eyes, so that's why he's doing all this rampaging against other countries. He wants to annex Greenland and Venezuela and all the other places. And in fact, when he lost the election in 2020 by legitimate means, he made up an excuse in his own fantastical mind about, that they rigged the election. I really won the election. They rigged it against me so that they won. Well, if that was the case, why didn't they rig it again so that they won again, so that you would never have power again? Yeah, idiot. So anyway, so that even when he does lose, he legitimizes it by saying that someone else cheated him out of it, which is preposterous. But in any case, this would go to his absolute biggest fear of being the biggest loser. He would be the biggest loser that was the case. So, in the Dragon Ball universe, the HFIL is not covered in fire, brimstone, or ghouls or goblins and all that stuff. It's more like a state in which you can't escape it, and you're always mugged for being a loser. And that's what Donald Trump fears the most, to be considered a loser by any stretch of the imagination. Because I'm a loser even though I'm technically a winner in my own fantasy mind. So that's why I think Trump will go and pass on. Now, what happens to his wealth and material belongings, I have no idea. I don't really care. I have a feeling that they're probably going to be squabbled upon by his underlings and his family and all that. That would be just a part to get his immense wealth and probably holdings. But I really give a shit, because he made it United States into an asshole country. So yeah. Also, for the matter, one of the biggest things that he liked is touches himself and buildings with Demon and stuff. So I would like to see him live to see all that stuff get torn down. All the posters of himself, all the tapestries of himself, all the names of the building that he changed to be Trump and whatever else. Name it Trump and Kennedy, or like the Trump Memorial with the library is built from. I want all that erased, and I want him to see it all. That'd be more torture to him than anything else, because he likes that stuff. And I wish he would change his ways and become somewhat good, but he's rotten to the core. He's rotten beyond the core. There is no way that he can become good at this point. Even if he donates all of his money and wealth to charity, he can't do any good. There's gotta be some kind of workaround where everything goes back to him. And that really does suck big time. So yeah, if you agree with me that Trump will go into the home for infant losers, I forgot what episode in Dragon Ball Z it covers that aspect of Goku's journey across the snake way. But it'd be real funny if Trump actually does go there with his body and all that. And yeah. Also, another thing that I wish would happen to him is now I know this might be taken out of context by some people, but I know that his health is failing and all of that. So one thing that I wish would happen to him as a factor of karma, because he likes to make fun of disabled people and other things and whatever. And the fact that he constantly berated Joe Biden for the same thing that he has, for the same thing that he does and says and stuff, the dementia and the tiredness all the time. It would be really funny, at least to me, as a disabled person, to see him in a wheelchair. Not because it's funny on its own, because men constantly make fun of everybody else in a wheelchair and says that we don't want to see the disabled veterans, for example, on the stage and whatnot. So I will find that very, very funny and very, very comic. That is the word, comic. Although granted, he has the best medical team on earth, so there's that. So yeah, these are some of the things that I think will happen with Trump. I think his health is very bad, especially because he eats and drinks junk food all the time. And I think that he's gonna eventually karma payback for encouraging bad stuff, for encouraging for cutting back on food stamps, for cutting back on other necessary programs, for trying to get rid of Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, and among other things too that he just does just for spite, just checking into pedophile ring, which isn't right. Let's consider the environment and emissions and stuff that you go back, well, because this guy did. You see, I told you that this would be useful. So yeah, well, Joe Biden did it too. And the fact that Trump thinks he's superior because he doesn't use an oil pen. So yeah, that's very funny. So yeah, I think that he's a perfect candidate for a home for infant losers. Or as he might say, his own personal health. Because according to religious doctrine, the hell or heaven that you experience is your own personal view of paradise or torture. punishment. Celebrity is ultimate punishment to be labeled as a loser forever and ever and ever. Even though negative boys are gonna go there eventually too, because they're all losers and zeros and just negative people. And I suppose that it could be a good thing that Trump told those people to act out so that we know who those people are. And we know how to handle them at this point. Not to invite them over to barbecues and parties and stuff like that. So yeah, this is what I think will happen to Trump, both in the physical realm and the spiritual realm. And he's a pedophile protector, if not a pedophile by himself. So, because of all the steampunk crap that he got put in there. So, yeah. If you guys like what you hear, and you want to see more of my videos and such, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future information on my future videos by calling or texting me at 631-707-3707. And if you'd like to know ways to reach me, don't follow me on Twitter or X, prefer P. Nelson Pro. Also, you can get my email at jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, I salute everyone that likes democracy, peace, and tranquility. And not anyone that likes chaos, destruction, and empire building, that Trump is doing. So, peace out, my brothers and sisters. Let's hope this year will be a peaceful year. I doubt it, but let's hope that we make it to the end of the year. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Sayonara. Good night. Ciao, ciao. Buonasera. Hasta la vista, baby.